What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 22 realistic rebuild. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, though. I wanted a nice, clean, easy rebuild. I see the Falcons are still on the list. The Texans are still on the list. Those are big dog teams. Those are tough rebuild teams. Philly, the Rams, very tough salary cap situation. I wanted something easy that we could get across the line. Felt like it's time for the Chargers, man. I am a neutral. As a neutral, I love watching the Chargers play. And I think that this is a roster that should, especially with the moves they made this offseason, be able to go on the run. We're using updated rosters. Ignore the year. I'm on Xbox instead of PC where everything's modded. But we have the current draft class. Really, I think of as of today, which I'm recording this on the 9th of May. This is the updated Chargers roster. So we got Justin Herbert at quarterback. 84 superstar, absolute baller. I remember when Justin Herbert, there's Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. Those are the two quarterbacks that you were on one side of the fence when they were coming out. You either liked them, you hated them, you thought they're going to be overrated, thought they're going to be good. Luckily, I was on the right side very publicly on both of those guys, both Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. I'm a card-carrying fan club member since day one, and I feel like he's going to be a very special player for us if we do plan on trying to win a Super Bowl. You got Austin Ekeler, absolute beast, only 26 as well. They did him dirty with the face scan there. Hook him up. But then you got Keenan Allen, 93 X Factor. He's 29, so he's getting up there in age, but he does not regress too bad. They re-signed Big Mike Williams, who's a terrific jump ball type wide receiver, 85 superstar. The talent is immense. Even the secondary options, Guyton's a great deep threat. You got the Canadian Josh Palmer, I think might be able to carve out a little bit of a slot role this year. They get Isaiah Spiller in the draft, who some people thought was in a weak running back class. He's top 3, arguably, in his position. Their first round selection was Zion Johnson at Boston College, improving that offensive line. They got a terrific rookie last year in the 2020 draft or 2021 draft, and Rashawn Slater. Lindsey is solid. They got Sawyer, which I thought was absolutely a value pick out of Georgia. Didn't give up a single sack at Georgia, so I think he's kind of a plug-and-play right tackle for them for the time being. Kind of work in progress at that tight end spot. Have failed to really get a true successor to Antonio Gates, but Everett and Donald Parham are solid for the time being. You flip to the defensive side of the ball. This is where they've been spending some money. You got Austin Johnson and Sebastian Joseph Day on that D-line to try to improve a run defense that, if it was just a notch better, they probably would have made the playoffs last year. And I think they did a decent job improving that. Would love to see a breakout for Jerry Tillery in this rebuild. The rest of the front seven, you got Murray and Tranquil in the inside. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. They just recently signed Kyle Van Noy, versatile linebacker. Very good. A lot of expectations, though, for Kenneth Murray to take his game to the next level, especially after losing Kaiser White, who, according to, obviously I'm an Eagles fan. I'm very happy with the Kaiser White signing, but a lot of Chargers considered him their best linebacker last season, so it's a good get for Philly. You got Nasir Adderley. I love the selection of JT Woods and Derwin James on the back end there at safety. You got J.C. Jackson, an absolute ball hawk coming over from the New England Patriots. Callahan in the slot. We're going to go with Asante Samuel Jr. on the outside. This is there's no real weakness with this squad. I truly believe, even though it's going to be an absolute bloodbath, even though we're doing this rebuild with full knowledge that this is going to be an incredibly difficult division to win in, I think we can do it. I think with Justin Herbert and these weapons and the balance on offense and defense, this team's good. I'm saying 3 years, 4 years at the max for us to win a Super Bowl. But before we get into year one of this rebuild, I do need to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor. PrizePicks is the easy way to play daily fantasy and is available in most US states and Canadian provinces. Guys, PrizePicks is so easy to use. You pick between 2 and 5 players and an over-under on their projections with a ton of stats to choose from. Obviously, when the football season gets in full swing, you get passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards. But let's take a look at the NBA playoffs tonight. I want to focus in on the 76ers and the Miami Heat. And I think, the man that should have won the MVP, Joel Embiid, he's going to be a man possessed. You got Jimmy Butler. I think he's going to play well for the Heat to stay in it. And I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to put Luka in here. I'm going to put up big-time players. I'm going to go over on Joel Embiid for 24.5 points. I'm going to go over on Jimmy Butler. I think he's going to be the best player for the Heat. And on Luka, I'm actually going to take the under on that 31.5. And you have two options here. You can flex play, which means you can get 2 out of 3. It's a little bit more forgiving, but I'm kind of an all-or-nothing guy. I'm going power play. Must hit 3 of 3. Go big or go home. $20 to win $100. All I do is make 3 fairly easy picks. Get on this. Get on this. If you sign up for PrizePicks with promo code C4 using the link in the description, you will receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. It doesn't get any better than that. So a massive thanks to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. All right, so at the midway point of year one, 6-3, it's a bloodbath in the AFC West, which is kind of expected, but you know, we got a little bit of momentum here. I think we've won 2 or 3 in a row. Score lots of points. We feel pretty good. Let's take a look at our contracts here for the Chargers. Who is getting re-signed? Who can we let walk? There are a lot of players with contracts that are about to bounce. I like Parham, but not at $11 million. Got a couple Canadians here. I'm pretty sure Ryan Hunter's Canadian, and I'm also pretty sure, I know, Tavon Campbell is Canadian. Would like to re-sign him, but again, these contracts are... Christian Covenant's also Canadian. You got 3 Canadians on the Chargers. No, 4 with Josh Palmer. God bless you. Well, with J.K. Scott with the hidden dev there at punter, I feel like we could just offer him a contract not to worry about punter for the remainder of this rebuild. Jalen Guyton is a nice deep threat, but that's $70 million for a guy that's probably never going to get off normal dev. It's a little rich. Same with Van Noy. You know, the regression is going to hit him. Same with Callahan. But I actually think in Callahan's case, he is a solid slot. If we can get him on that 1-year deal, I have no problem with that because, you know, at least 1 more year worth of regression. He's still going to be in the 80s next season. But I saw that salary cap. This is actually going to be a team going to be very finicky and I think very patient with free agency because the big free agency period for this rebuild is the one that we kind of already inherited. Bringing in Khalil Mack and all those guys and J.C. Jackson. Now we got to be focused on if this thing doesn't go well. We don't win a Super Bowl sooner than later. We're going to have to pay, you know, Justin Herbert's going to need a new contract. You know, it's guys like that. So maybe we'll be a little bit patient in free agency, knowing that the priority is going to be that contract for our quarterback, our star quarterback. And finally, here in year one, we have our first breakout scenarios for the massive defensive tackle, Sebastian Joseph Day, which was a great signing for the Chargers, stealing him away from the Rams. We have a legitimate contender for a superstar dev trade increase. We got the Giants in front of us. We absolutely smoked the Giants, but we do give up 21 points, so I don't know if he would have hit it. Fortunately, no dev trade for our D-tackle. At the end of year number 1, we made the playoffs. Runner-up in the AFC West, only a game behind the cheat code known as the Kansas City Chiefs. That's not too shabby. 12-5. It's about expected, to be honest with you. Looking at the stats, Justin Herbert has the yardage, doesn't have the touchdowns, but we have the most passing yards. Keenan Allen there with 2,000. Khalil Mack, 24. What are these numbers? And technically, even with Kaiser White leading the tackles there. Man, Philadelphia. Are you telling me the Eagles have Kaiser White with 143 tackles and TJ Edwards with 153 tackles? I will double check that. God damn, they're terrible. But look at that stat line for Herbert. 3rd in touchdowns, a little bit off the mark there. Interceptions, a little high. I didn't think the Chargers would throw the ball this much. Even though they kind of do. And like Austin Ekeler is like a receiving back, a complimentary back. More than he is like a guy, bell cow, if you will. But, you know, didn't expect this stat line from Herbert. Should X Factor. He'll be an X Factor at the end of this season, which is dope. Even not that bad of a stat line for Austin Ekeler. 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns for a primarily passing offense. Acceptable numbers. We have, I've never seen 2,000 yards for a receiver in a sim, I don't think. Usually it kind of skews towards like ridiculous rushing numbers. But 2,000 yards on 117 catch, like just the volume. What? This is Chargers playbook. I switched it to the Chiefs or this is Chargers. Maybe we're sleeping on the Chargers playbook here. 11-7 for Gerald Everett. 9-8 for Mike. Well, slightly disappointing year for Mike Williams. Like I say, you would love to see him get 1,000 yards. 7-5 for the Canadian Josh Palmer. 5-4. That was a generous roundup there for Ekeler, but productive nonetheless. On the defensive side of the ball, 133 tackles for Kenneth Murray. We have 24 sacks, Khalil Mack, 13.5 Joey Bosa, 6 and 15 TFLs for Joseph Day, the D tackle there. 3 interception. There we go. There's the nitpick. With Derwin James and all those guys, I would like to see maybe a little bit more interceptions. I also just really want to look at the Eagles here. They do. Look, my God. Jalen Hurts 3 and out much? I don't think I've also, as much as I've never seen a 2,000-yard receiver, I don't think I've ever seen that much tackles for 2 starting linebackers. And again, like if that you just told me Philly was good, and though you know both TJ Edwards and Kazir White had that amount of tackles, I'd be pretty happy with that for Philadelphia Eagles. Either way, the number one offense in the NFL, and I guess I'd put some respect here on the chart. MVP Justin Herbert. Again, was not expecting this at all. I was expecting them to be very good. I was expecting maybe 40, 30, high 30s, low 40 touchdown, but was not expecting the year Justin Herbert had. Or, to be honest, freaking Keenan Allen. Defensive player there, Khalil Mack. Awesome. Great signing him in there. Like, no way to cheese that. I have terrible luck with 3-4 defenses. This is all default. Whatever the hell they had. I'm actually, after this, going to go make note of what they were rocking with here. Obviously, because of where we're doing this, the offensive defensive rookie of the years will be skewed just a little bit. Best quarterback goes to Justin Herbert. Jonathan Taylor got running back. Wide receiver easily going to Keenan Allen. On the defensive side of things, a linebacker goes to Khalil Mack. And kicker. We even had the best freaking kicker. Let's go, baby. I mean, yeah, just don't be one and done. That's all I can say. Year like that, don't be one and done. We got the 10-7 Dolphins, and we're fucking one and done, man. Brutal. Brutal. There's no other way. Brutal. I mean, our defense sunk there. I mean, Herbert didn't carry, but I mean, you can't let Tua have almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Cedric Wilson feasted on us defensively. You know, we got some good pressure after them, but man, why? You get the hype, the endorphin rush of Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen have a ridiculous year, and then you're one and done in the playoffs against a team that we should easily dominate in the Miami Dolphins. So let's get the offseason gear for year 2. Forget this ever happened. So as we close out the season with the Packers and Bengals going to the Super Bowl, let's spend our MVP award here. Justin Herbert gets +3. Might as well. I mean, he got bazooka. I will also say during the season, usually year 1, I spend the points, and then year 2, I just flick it on auto because I want to try to make his guys that they're 1 or 2 points away from scheme fit. I was just like making them a scheme fit. I don't know why. But every upgrade I had for Herbert felt like he got like a +1 throw power this season. It was ridiculous. And throw power is usually the most difficult attribute to earn. And like I think he was 97 throw power, 96. Could be wrong on that one, but I know for a fact I got at least +3 throw power this season for Justin Herbert in 1 year. Now he's Superstar X Factor, got himself the running gun. What about I mean, that probably is stylistically the way that we would play this with him. I'll give him Escape Riders just cuz. We'll give him I wish I knew half these abilities. We'll give him Gunslinger. We'll give him Gutsy Scrambler. We'll give him also set outside the roaming Deadeye, sure, and then we'll give him Quick Draw. Give him all the things that are animation based, and then the overpowered, Escape Riders. Well, let's take a look here as we close out the season. Very disappointing. Did anyone else go up dev trade on the offensive side of the ball? Herbert's Superstar X Factor now. Everyone else is kind of the same. I mean, I didn't really have huge. Maybe Everett could have went up. He had a pretty productive year. On the defensive side of the ball, we have dev traits for no one. Really no one. No one went up dev, which is a little bit of a bummer, but we got the MVP. That's good enough. So for this first free agency period, again, I think, honestly, I'm going to just sit back, save the money, carry it over. We got Derwin James, probably going to get paid soon. Justin Herbert got to get paid soon. Those guys are going to be better than any free agent I think we could potentially target. I mean, even here on the offensive line, could use it's Brian Bulaga. That's a guy that they're going to take Sawyer over, I think, and start at that tackle spot. We could maybe get younger on the D-line a little bit, get a little bit more of a 3-4 pass rusher. And then again, like those doesn't really exist. Ogunjobi might be kind of like a stopgap guy. Why is Jordan Davis there? I don't know why. Some people just didn't sign him for some reason. Again, not my rosters. I'm just inheriting them. But either way, point being, don't think that there is a single upgrade really that's meaningful. This team was just completely underwhelming. It wasn't like we were missing a piece. Our offense and defense all performed at a high level. So I'd rather just draft well and, save our money for our in-house free agents. They're going to be very expensive next year and the year after that. We have a little piece of business here. Jerry Tillery looking for his 5th-year option. I think he's a solid player. I'd like to get him on a bargain, but I'm absolutely not picking him up at whatever the cost it is going to be for that 5th-year option. All right, so for our first round pick at 24, we did our scouting here. I kind of prioritized the offensive line, like trying to find, a little bit more, like best guard, so you just go left tackle. And we scouted all of them. I mean, with the update here, it helps out a little bit, but my God, man, there's, for guys that are first round, getting second, third round talent, I'm not rushing to draft those players. But then you go like, well, where else would we do? 3-4 defensive end. And we just don't have a whole lot of information here. This guy here looks the most intriguing. PJ Reynolds out of Colorado, 6'6", 310. We only know he has A tackling. And the physicals are decent. The 40, I mean, 40 is not overly important, but he has elite agility, second in the 3-cone, second in the 20-yard shuttle from his pro day. That tends to usually, trend towards like being a good player. You also have some D tackles here. Pratt, second, third round talent. Might be able to get him there. But then we have Larry Harold. B blocks head, bleep, power move, combine, very good. Second in the 40, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle, all exactly where you want him to be. I feel like he might have a better chance at being a hidden dev, but Reynolds might be the better player. I think I'll go Harold just because I think he might have the dev trait. Usually the guys that are juiced out like that have the dev. And there we go. Larry here. I will double check when all is said and done to compare him to the other defensive end. But we got Harold here. Maybe, hopefully in the second round, we can get one of those top tackles still and shuffle them around our offensive line. Because we did our homework, we'll do our due diligence here, getting the best tackle I think we can get, and that is Nelson. Sean Nelson here out of where? Ohio State. So we can go back-to-back Ohio State. I'll just double check to make sure. Is our D-tack? Oh, man, Pratt is still here too. He could be a nice player. A power move. Combine is also pretty decent. But because we already, surplus requirement on the D-line, I think he's a nice player. Maybe he'll still be there in the third round. But I think we'll go Sean Nelson right now here. Offensive tackle. But for us, it's 6'5", 315. That's, versatility. Probably going to shuffle around. Might not stay left tackle. And he's hidden dev. Let's go. Take a look at our draft recap. Very happy, man. The first 2 picks. Hidden devs. Larry Harold. That's a tough name. It doesn't look like a tough name. Say that name 5 times fast. That's just a struggle. But 74 hidden dev. He will be kicking into a defensive end spot. We have Nelson 70, hidden dev. Rest of our picks all normal. Don't hate it. But I also now just want to compare to the other D lineman that we passed on. I assume he still would have went in the first round. PJ Reynolds. Oh, no. Oh, no. 76. Normal. Give me normal. He's normal. All right. So you have the trade-off. Higher rating. No dev trade. In that case, you always take, in my opinion, the guy with the dev trade. But I am happy that either way, we got a terrific player with a dev. Whoa, 82 running back. Okay, that guy's a little juiced. And then you have the 3rd overall pick. Joey Porter went up there. But, I mean, you look at the value picks. We're right up in there. All right, and Reynolds would have been one of them. So I'm very happy with this draft. 2 hidden devs. Great way, because I think just absolutely we got a dominator way to a Super Bowl here in year 2 with the reigning, defending NFL MVP, Justin Herbert. All right, so we are back for year number 2, and expectations couldn't be higher for the LA Chargers. This is a team 88s across the board, offense and defense overall. We're feeling good. We got a new superstar X Factor quarterback who, just also happens to be the reigning defending MVP. So for that, we feel very good. We also thought about the future. Okay, worst case scenario. If we don't win this year, we got a nice hidden dev tackle that, Filer's getting up there in age a little bit. Maybe we kick Sawyer back into guard and we can go Nelson attack. But hey, that's next year. Right now, Nelson is nothing but a glorified swing tackle. Look at the defense. Harold will be starting, though. One of our defensive ends, along with Joseph Day and Tillery on the D-line. I mean, Khalil Mack's a cheat code. He's getting a ridiculous amount of sacks. Him and Joey Bosa is just, in real life and in Madden, are going to be just an elite combo. Derwin James, I think we have to re-sign him for sure this year. So that's going to get a little pricey. I can only imagine he might hit 99 overall. But our secondary with, obviously Derwin James and J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel, hopes he takes another step with his game. This is, again, how much more is there to hype up? This seems very good. I fully expect another deep playoff run and a shoot for the Super Bowl. Midway point of year 2, and we're 8-2, top of the AFC West. And we're vibing, man. Look at just our rankings. 7th offense, 4th passing yards per game, 4th defense. And while the passing yards defense you wish was a little bit better, and same with the rushing. But the number 4 rush defense, like this seems just very, very good. But now we need to talk about contracts. And I think Derwin James is the big one. And it is. We're not going to have a whole lot of money outside of him, I don't think. But that's you got to pay Derwin James. So let's get him locked in. 6 years. $83 million. Can we follow that with Nasir Adderley here? Give Nasir 5-year deal. Nice. Got him locked up. I actually think Gerald Everett's been solid for us. Same with Jared Tillery, but this now comes down to if things don't work out this year, we need to plan for life with a $1 trillion Justin Herbert contract. And with that these contracts here might not age well. I feel like we might be able to get a cheaper tight end. Might be able to get, Drankel's normal dev, Tillery on the D-line. We can just, try to grab another hidden dev D-lineman if we want. So we'll kind of chill on that front. I mean, if Everett, Tranquil, Tillery come year end, that last little opportunity to renegotiate, if any of them had a huge year, maybe we can try to squeeze it. But right now we got the 2 big players, our safety tandem, and we're saving as much money as we can, as in case it's an insurance policy, all right? If this rebuild doesn't go our way, we need to just conscientious of our salary cap so we can pay Justin Herbert if it comes down to it. At the end of year 2, why are we always it's just there's only 3 other teams you could play against, and it always just feels like we're going over and getting screwed by the Chiefs in every rebuild we do. We come second place in the division, 12-5. We're up to a 91 overall. Looking at our season stats, how did we get to this point? Well, Justin Herbert yet again tops the leaderboard there. Is he first in yards, first in tutties? I mean, looking at everyone else, Keenan Allen first in receiving yards. Joey Bosa first in sacks. Nick Bosa right there with him. I think that's about it for our team there. But let's look at the individual stats. Justin Herbert first in yards, first in just to dispel any potential, what's going, I think we need to put this tier, whatever scheme that the Chargers are running, offense and defense, the Brandon Staley offensive playbook, the Brandon Staley defensive playbook, both of these they work. I did not put the Chargers in that conversation. I think we need to, because we're getting top passers, top receivers, top sacks. Usually not a combination you get in Madden. But Justin Herbert, another outstanding year. Might be MVP. Might be back-to-back MVPs. Might be pulling a little Aaron Rodgers there. 5,400 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, 13 picks. We had 12-20 for Austin Ekeler on the receiving front. 15, almost 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 11-13 for Josh Palmer. 1,011 for Mike Williams. Gerald Everett went over 1,000 yards, only one touchdown. I mean, there's only so many touchdowns that could go around. And on the defense side of the ball, Tranquil and Murray finished with both over 100 tackles. 18 sacks, Joey Bosa. 14.5, Khalil Mack. 6 and 8 TFLs for our rookie, Larry Harold. And 4 picks, Derwin. 3 from Nasir Adderley. Got himself a new contract. I like the interceptions are a little bit better than what they were last season. Taking a look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Mahomes. Wow, it's just like voter fatigue, if you will. Justin Herbert coming in at number 4. Getting the old Joel Embiid treatment. Getting absolutely robbed, I think, for the MVP. Quickly looking at the offensive and defensive players of the year, just to see if we have anybody here belonging to the Chargers. And absolutely nobody. Wow. Okay. Keep sleeping on us. We got the Texans here for opening round of the playoffs. This should be a win. We got to go the gauntlet, though. I feel like our team's too good to have to play in the wild card, but that's just the nature of the beast. And, of course, we get the cheat code in the next round. But we have split the season with them. We beat them and they beat us, so it is doable. But taking a look at that, I mean, we put up points there. 42-25, the Chargers get the dub. I don't like the fact that Herbert threw 2 interceptions, but 3 touchdowns. We'll focus on the positives here. Solid game there from Austin Ekeler, 79 yards, 2 tutties. Defensively, got some pressure, had a couple turnovers there, Derwin and Adderley. All right, and now, that was the easy game. That was the opener. That was the matzo sticks. Now it is time for the main course. This is going to be our Super Bowl. I think if we beat Kansas City here, Browns and Jets aren't stopping us. I don't think I'm worried about the Niners or the Vikings. Maybe Dallas. It'd be nice if Dallas lost too, because Dallas and the Chiefs are kind of cheat codes. But yeah, this is a massive game for us. Another thing too is like these are like updated rosters, so the Chiefs are there's no Tyreek Hill there, and there's still like I mean, you know, it does come back down to playbooks and all that stuff, but you would like to think that like the Chiefs losing Tyreek Hill would make them a little less overpowered from Madden, but that's not the case here. All right, let's go. Expectations 50-50, and actually we get the W, and they take on the Jets for the Super Bowl. 35-28. It is a very close matchup. Either quarterback really played the best. Maybe that's credit to both teams' defense. But again, Herbert, you know, for the MVP, for being our guy, it's not like he's carrying us. Another solid game out of Austin Ekeler. Mike Williams, $130 on the defensive side. We have Drew Tranquil, 12 tackles, 2 sacks. Khalil Mack, 2 interceptions for Bryce Callahan, the veteran slot. And that is how, I guess, the 1 in 10 times you take down the Kansas City Chiefs on your way to the AFC. We cannot lose to the Jets. Like, what are the Jets? They put a 42 on the Browns. Zach Wilson, 5 touchdowns. Breece Hall there. They got Elijah Moore, Garrett. Well, I mean, you know what? The Jets are very interesting. I was even talking on Twitter that they're going to make the short list for my Madden 23 team. They might miss out on the short list just because I think they're actually going to be like a really good team and franchise, but they have a lot of young talent. I don't know how much work needs to be done for the Jets. Wow, 5 touchdowns. I think it also is worth checking out. Like, what, you know, the stats. We see the stats, but are they a good team? Like, do they got like, you know, we're on 91 over. Look at that. Look at the difference right there. That's all you need to know. It's a 91 overall team going up against an 81 overall team. And in the world of Madden, that's terrible. You should be terrified. I am terrified that we're going to have to go another year. I'm terrified that, like, this whole rebuild, we picked the Chargers rebuild because it wasn't going to be stressful. It wasn't going to be super hard. And that's all done under the assumption that you win the Super Bowl before you have to pay Justin Herbert. Because after you have to pay Justin Herbert, you know, your team's never going to be as strong as that point. It's not going to be as well-rounded. So, a lot of pressure. Let's just see. Whatever, man. Rip the Band-Aid off. If we lose to the Jets, it's a feel-good story. What do we lose? Oh, okay, we did win. I literally just... All right, we won. Beautiful. We'll scoot ahead. We take on the Minnesota Vikings. That seems like a winnable game in the Super Bowl. The Vikings in a close one. And our game was close, too. See what happened here? Well, let's see Justin Herbert, no interceptions. Of course, he does have an interception, which has been annoying. It's kind of been the norm for him. But it's still a big game. We won with his arm for sure. Defensively, a couple sacks. Khalil Mack and Bosa. We got no turnovers there. Zach Wilson was in God mode. And it sets up a Super Bowl matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. Tom Brady at quarterback. Of course that's why. Oh my God, we can't lose to the Vikings with Tom Brady, man. We're gonna hop in on the we'll sit front row. We'll super sim this one. But this is our Super Bowl. Tom Brady. I'll say this is definitely the weirdest spot I've seen Tom Brady land in a Madden rebuild. Makes this one a lot more difficult. I mean, Minnesota's a team that has struggled to, you know, win the Super Bowl. And maybe, just maybe, they'd be desperate enough to give Tom Brady, like, ownership in the team. Whatever the hell, like, was linking Tom Brady and the Miami Dolphins. Maybe the Vikings would be like, we'll do that. Join us. Help us win. And it's looking, you know, fairly even here in the first half. We do have a 4-point lead. We're moving the ball on them, but I do feel like this could be a game. It's only a matter of time that we start, you know, the touchdowns dry up, and we settle for a couple field goals, and old man Tom Brady kicks it into gear. But it's a slim lead. They're going on a run there. We're up by 3. Of course, you give the ball back when you're up 3, and you let Tom Brady get a touchdown there. Man, if we get a 4th down, I might... Oh, my God. Oh, my God! We get the touchdown right at the end. Final drive. I don't know. I think that was Herbert. I want to hope that was Justin Herbert putting it all together. I don't know. It could have been an Ekeler. That was a long drive. That was a Tom Brady drive. We didn't score. We let Tom Brady go down and get the lead because that's just what happens, right? And then that's... I didn't think we'd do that. There's Herbert and Brady dapping each other up there. Brady in the purple. There we go, man. There's your Super Bowl. There's your successful rebuild as expected. Justin Herbert gets the job done. I'd feel bad if I didn't win a Super Bowl. This was an expected. Every team's getting rebuilt. This was the expected Super Bowl victory. I did just bless the Chargers on my Twitter, though. Every year on Twitter, I take a team that didn't make the playoffs, and then I say I bless them, and they make the playoffs. It's been like 4 years running that it's worked. And the Chargers sound like on paper, oh yeah, C4, good reach on that one. But their division is a bloodbath. That is like, I'm picking the best team out of the best division. I'm picking a team, what I'm saying? And the reason why I did it ultimately, though, is because I'm a Justin Herbert truther, and the Chargers have like 5 Canadians on their roster. It's overwhelming. I've never seen a team that have more than like 1 or 2. Like the Cowboys used to have like Neville Gallimore for a year, and then their long snapper was Canadian. Shout out to the Chargers, man. The least I could do is win you a Super Bowl for employing so many Canadian athletes. I appreciate you. And I'll do it for you today, guys. As always, I keep saying suggest rebuilds, even though this one here I kind of took my old hands because I wanted just to, get in, win one, feel good about Madden. And I think that's what we did here today. Huge season. Justin Herbert win the MVP, all that good stuff. But maybe next time we come back here, we might do look, in terms of the big rebuilds, we have Atlanta, we have Houston. I don't know what the updated rosters, if you can include Philadelphia, but I think like Philly's in that next tier with the Rams in the sense that like their salary cap is very bad. So like win before you have to just make some really tough cuts. But maybe the next rebuild we come back, it will be a difficult one, a legitimate rebuild. Maybe Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons. Could that be something? Maybe, yes, kind of, sort of. But that will be for another time. Thank you guys very much for watching today's video. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Holy shit, Keenan Allen had 15 catches for 193 yards. All right. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.